Good evening, Strategic Alpha community members. Today is 21st June, and we are meeting for this week's weekly roundup. So, we'll discuss about the sectors, we'll discuss about few stocks, we'll discuss about the commodities, the prices, we'll discuss about the frontline indices, sectorial indices, how they fared, and what happened over the past 1 week, and what lies ahead going forward in the future. So we'll be discussing about that. Along with that, we'll be also discussing about some interesting developments from a stock market perspective, and on the news front, and how it can shape up the stocks which we have discussed in this community in past. So let us start with this weekly roundup. This is 21st June. So looking at frontline indices first, Nifty 50 was up 0.4% in past 1 week. Nifty mid cap index was up 1.4%. Small cap index was up 1.12%, and PSU index was down 1%. So this is the frontline indices. From the sectorial indices, Nifty PSU Bank was down 0.5%, Nifty Media was down 0.9%, Nifty Private Bank was up 4.5%. Most of the private banks like ICICI, HDFC, Kotak, all those were very strong this past 1 week. Nifty Realty was up 1.1%. Nifty Auto was down 1.2%. So this was the sectorial indices. Now looking at the commodities performance, crude oil was up 4.3%. Natural gas was down 5.6%. From metals, precious metals and some of the base metals, gold was up 1.26%, silver was up 2.56%. It exactly bounced from the level which we discussed in one of the weekly meets, which is 88,500. So silver bounced back from that level. Copper was down 0.63%, steel was down 0.75%, and iron ore was up flat. It was barely flat. From commodities, lead was up 2.45%, aluminum was down 0.36%, zinc was up 2.7%, and the other prices like sugar, rubber, wheat, all those agricultural commodities were down close to 2% to 6%. Now, look at the gainers and losers. In the past 1 week, we have seen a big surge in fertilizer stocks. So, Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers, which we have discussed the case on our YouTube channel, the stock which is available for free. That is the title of the video. We discussed that on our YouTube channel. The video is available on YouTube. You can go through that. Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers was up 24%. So it has gone close to 3x since the video was posted. That video is available on YouTube, which is regarding Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers. Then National Fertilizers was up 23%, Chambal Fertilizers was up 21%, Ramkrishna Forgings was up 21%. From the losers front, ZF Commercial Vehicles was down 11%, Som Distilleries was down 10%, Linde India was down 10%, KNR Construction was down 10%. BML was also down 8%. So this was from the losers and gainers front. Now let us come back to the news that matters the most, especially for the community, where we have discussed few of the sectors, few of the stocks, and directly or indirectly these news might have an impact. So there was a news from Sharad Pawar that he has been requesting the ministry to lift the ban on sugar export and relax the ethanol blending limits. And this is the requirement of the industry also. I've been talking about that, especially I talked in one of the weekly meets that sugar sector is such a sector which will be in limelight post elections. And in fact, just after the elections, in past 2 weeks, we have seen sugar stocks surging up. They were beaten down for the past 2 years. They have been consolidating. Many of the sugar stocks are down 40 to 50% from the top, and they were consolidating. So in fact, a lot of people were thinking that sugar story is over, but I believe the sugar story is alive post elections, especially if the change in government would have happened. In that case, the policy continuity might not have happened, but as of now, the policy continuity will happen. There is no issue for the policies which is laid down by this government. And just after the elections, we have seen that sugar sector has started coming in favor once again. So this news was in fact regarding the rise, means lifting the ban on sugar export. This is requested by Mr. Sharad Pawar, and I think these will should happen going forward. The government will accept this, because there were a lot of pauses on the development front, on the policy front, uh, owing to the elections. But now the things will take up shape in the favor of sector. Sugar industry is seeing urgent MSP revisions and long-term ethanol policy revision from the new government. So this is one of the news from the industry. So there are two news which came in past 1 week regarding the sugar sector, which will keep the sugar sector in favor. The third news was regarding de-dollarization. Actually, RBI, along with other governments, I've been talking about de-dollarization for it is a slow process. It will take some time over the next 5, 10 years, 15 years. The dominance of dollar should go down. That is my view. And with the same view, what has happened in the favor of that view, RBI has bought 6 tons of gold in the 6 tons of gold in the April, and sold US treasuries worth $7 billion. So that itself shows that India has also joined the other governments where they are focusing either silver or gold as a base currency, not US treasuries. So US treasuries, many of the governments are selling US treasuries and buying gold. So that is happening. So this was the news which mattered, which will be responsible for the developments in the overall markets, be it bullion market, be it stock markets, which can have an impact going forward. So these were three news which were in the news, and which we thought that we should share it with the community. Now, from the stocks setups, every week we screen around 300 to 400 stocks, and we also check around 10 to 15 sectors. What are the sectors which are in favor? What are the sectors which will gain momentum and all? So from that perspective, let us first talk about the sectors. The sectors which will be in limelight going forward is rural economy. I've been talking about this rural economy, because the numbers of Hero Motocorp, M&M, the way they have surged, it was clearly evident that the rural economy should do well. And with the same perspective, I discussed the case in the Conviction Club about Avanti Feeds. So Agri Animal Feed, Avanti Feeds, and Godrej Agrovet. These are the two stocks which have came in favor. But my favorite is Avanti Feeds. So we discussed that case already. So agri animal feed will be continue to be in limelight going forward. So you can also track Godrej Agrovet, but my favorite is Avanti Feeds. Now the second sector which will be continue to be in limelight is agri-chem and agri-fertilizer. So among those agri-chem and agri-fertilizer, the stock which you can track is National Fertilizer, so which can be in momentum going forward. Third sector is sugar, and fourth is railway. Sugar, I've been discussing last week also. We discussed about sugar. Sugar, there are multiple triggers going forward. So sugar is one sector which you should keep on track. Last week, which for the past few weeks, we have been discussing about defense. Defense has done really very well over the past few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. In fact, we discussed about Paras defense, which surged 50 to 60% in no time. So we discussed that in the case. So after that, now the defense will take a pause, but railway, sugar, and these sectors will be in limelight going forward. There will be a sector rotation, mini sector rotation happening in sugar, railway, and animal agri feed and fertilizers. So these are the sectors which you can keep on watch. Now the stocks which are looking very interesting is, I've been talking about Texmaco Rail. In fact, once again, let me just repeat. So Texmaco Rail is a stock. So I discussed about that. All the railway capex cannot be completed by one single company, because a lot of people were going gung ho on the stocks like Titagar wagons and all. But Texmaco Rail is one such which has not participated in the rally. It has uh, it has all the potential still. It is not at the undervalued stage. Yes, I can say it is in a stage where fair to somewhat overvalued zone, but this can be a stock which can come in momentum. I've been discussing this for the past few weeks. So Texmaco Rail is one such stock which you should not miss to study. Second is Mawana Sugar. So Mawana Sugar. So there are 5 stocks in this list: Godrej Agrovet, National Fertilizer, Mawana, Texmaco, and Stocraft. But out of these all, I'll be only focusing on these 2 stocks, which is in my tracking from long time. So Mawana Sugar is one such stock which you can look at, and Texmaco Oil. So these are my 2 focused bets from all the 5 stocks which are came after the screening. But you can also keep a track on Godrej Agrovet. I have not studied that Agrovet, so that's why I'm not focusing on that. But Mawana and Texmaco from this. One of the stock which is Stocraft. So Stocraft is a stock which is in the deep value zone. So from a long term perspective, one can study this company Stocraft. So it is a competitor of Butterfly Gandhimati Appliances or TTK Prestige. So it is in appliances. So you can study this, but the immediate, I don't think the immediate momentum can come in Stocraft. But this is a stock which is worth studying from a long term perspective. So these were all the stocks, all the sectors which we discussed. Going forward, I've been talking about it from long time that old economy will continue to do well. A lot of people ask that what are the sectors which will perform. But let me just tell you, we are since 2020 we are in a market where old economy is performing. The new economy will still underperform. The leaders, the big companies will still underperform the smaller companies, especially from the old economy perspective. So old economy will continue to do well. I had the view till elections that uh, I will take a view only till elections. But post elections, once again, for the next 1 year, I don't see any issues from the market point of view. Having said that, markets are overvalued. It was overvalued from long period of time. Uh, Again, I've been saying that equities are at a risk on stage. One has to be very cautious in taking bets, because you cannot just go overboard onto something just because the market says bullish. Markets are bullish. For from a safety point of view, I'm holding gold and silver, because that will come handy if the market crashes. uh, because the silver, at least silver has the potential to deliver what small cap has delivered, because during the precious metal bull run, silver outperforms the gold. So I have been holding gold, but I look forward to allocate it to something if I get something in deep value. So I'm one of the stock which I'm tracking, which is not discussed in this weekly roundup, is Vmart Retail. So Vmart Retail is such a business which I was looking for a business which is into UP and Bihar. I discussed that in the community also. So next leg of growth will come from rural economy. That is what I believe. And from rural economy, the especially UP and Bihar state, if you get a play there, it is very good. There was one more company which is financing company, but I don't understand finance. That's why I had not looked at it. But VMart Retail is one such stock which is a potential. So the stock now is at 2-year high, but the valuations are at 6-year, 7-year low. So this is VMart at some in some case it qualifies deep value. So I believe this is one such stock can do very well for next 1 to 3 year. And nothing should be considered as a recommendation. We are just discussing it here from an educational perspective, but I'm just sharing what is there in my mind, what is there I'm looking. So if I want to look at the pockets of opportunities from a long term point of view, I discussed about that in some of the weekly meets. That Bajaj Consumer, I'm looking at it. Shankara Building Products, I'm looking at it. Third is VMart Retail, now I'm looking at it. Avanti Feeds, yes, I'm looking at it. So these are some of the stocks, the pockets of opportunities. Even in this overvalued, overheated market, there are pockets of opportunities which you can look into. This is what I want to see. Equities are at a risk on stage, understand that. So uh, uh, having strict stop losses on momentum trades, and being very cautious and buying only within your circle of competence in long term bets, that will help, because especially when the markets are overheated. uh, because next 1 year I don't see any issues for the market as of now. uh, but if any negativity, like let us say war or something like comes, we are vulnerable because markets need a reason for deep corrections. And if you are overvalued, so markets are overvalued. The pockets of opportunities are increasingly becoming less and less. And whatever I spot some sweet spot, I'm sharing that. So sweet spots for me right now is consumption play, like Bajaj Consumer, or for that matter Arvind Fashions, of VMart Retail. So the sectors which I understand the most. So one in this overheated market, you should only participate in the sectors which you understand the most, you understand the business the most. That is the only risk mitigation strategy which you can do during the overheated markets. So this was my message to all the community members. So with this, I conclude this weekly meet. I'm opening up the questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hands. I'll unmute you. Yes, you.
सर गुड इवनिंग।
Yes.
हेलो
Yes, yes.
सर, मैं जानना चाह रहा था ये हिंदुस्तान जिंक में भी पोजीशन बनाई जा सकती है?
किसमें?
हिंदुस्तान जिंक।
नो, एज ऑफ नाउ वो मेरे रडार में नहीं है। तो अगर आएगा तो मैं पोस्ट कर दूंगा वीआईपी
तो
एक्सेस।
उसने लास्ट अच्छा रिटर्न दिया है, एटलीस्ट 80% का रिटर्न दिया था। अभी 650 का रेट है।
हाँ,
अभी
मालूम है,
658 के
मैंने
आसपास चल रहा है।
हिंदुस्तान जिंक के बारे में पहले भी डाला, वहां से बहुत अच्छा किया है। आई हैव बुक्ड प्रॉफिट इन
जी जी।
हिंदुस्तान जिंक. सो एज ऑफ नाउ आई डोंट हैव एनी व्यू, बिकॉज ये but if Vedanta is such stock, Hindustan Zinc is a Vedanta group company. uh, Vedanta is such a stock. If anyone wants to play commodity bull run, you cannot ignore Vedanta. So uh, recently correct bhi kiya hai, so you can study Vedanta. But this is
वेदांता भी सर होल्डिंग पे है,
मोमेंटम इमीडिएटली
इक्विटी है।
आएगा कि नहीं? मोमेंटम जब आएगा तब हम वीकली राउंड अप में डिस्कस करेंगे। बट आज की डेट में अगर मोमेंटम प्ले, सॉरी, कमोडिटी बुलरन प्ले करना है, तो वेदांता इज सच अ स्टॉक। इवन एट दिस प्राइसेस आई थिंक फ्रॉम अ मीडियम टू लॉन्गर टर्म परस्पेक्टिव स्टडी करना चाहिए उसको।
एक और पूछना था
यस।
सर, पूछा था सर, जैसे सुप्रीम पावर को भी अच्छा खासा मूव कर गया है, तो क्या आकांक्षा पावर में होल्डिंग fair.
सी आपको buy करना है या नहीं आप खुद देखना चाहिए, बट आई बॉट इट, आई बॉट आकांक्षा पावर एट 105 rupees, sorry 110 rupees. So I bought it first at 95 96 as a tracking position. I am holding Akanksha Power, and tomorrow I think we are meeting the management with Conviction Club members. We are meeting the management of Akanksha Power tomorrow. If you have any questions, Mr. Rajan Nayak, Ranjan Nayak.
Suyog, this is Sagar here. Meanwhile, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I just want to know your view on Paras defense. Was it a technical view or some fundamental view? So how did you pick it at
See,
right place?
okay, okay. So Paras defense, I've been tracking it from long time now. So उसमें क्या था, पारस डिफेंस इज अ पोटेंशियल कंपनी, बहुत बट लिस्टिंग के बाद बहुत बढ़ गया था वो. तो आई वाज लुकिंग एट सम पॉइंट कि भाई मैं इसको कभी ना कभी तो बाय करूंगा क्योंकि आई लाइक्ड द कंपनी. So I bought it when there was a technical up move when the reversal started. So I bought it and I booked profit also. So that that was so somewhat observation, somewhat fundamental. I like that company, but not the valuation. So उसमें ज़्यादा देर रुक नहीं सकते थे ऐसे.
Right, right. हाँ वही valuation point of view तो बहुत
नहीं वैल्यूएशन
महंगा
नहीं था
लगता
ना, तो नहीं तो मैं वो कन्विक्शन क्लब पे शेयर करता.
है.
Any other questions? I'll take two more questions. Mr. Naveen Tatia.
Hello. Oh, I was
Yes.
on mute actually, I think. So
Hmm.
I was asking, I mean, there are a lot of cable companies which came into IPO, right? SME related, like Marco Cable, or there is a DCG cables and all that. So
Okay.
any perspective on such companies?
So see, I'll post a video regarding the energy transition. So I posted that on Conviction Club few days back. I'll also post that on VIP Access. Once you go through that video, you'll understand the structure of the energy transition which is going to happen. So it is a long journey. So it is at least a 10-year long journey in the energy transition phase, because and that is related with the transmission and all that. So if there
Right.
is transmission which is going to happen, the cable companies will do well. But especially, so IPO bound companies, usually the valuations are super expensive. You need to play it from post IPO momentum strategy, which is there on YouTube. You can go through that. So the
Okay.
cable companies, I'm bullish on them, but I'm yet to find a good bet where there is, because usually I'm a deep value investor if I want to be an investor. From a trading perspective, I've been trading in Ramratna wires, I've been trading in RR Kabel. I've been trading in on and off the trades happen. But this is such a sector which the entire transmission space cables also are a part of that. So it's a long journey. It is within that we have to spot the pockets of opportunities.
Yeah, if you see Marco, right, it is not so expensive that way. I mean, SME and
Okay.
available at some 30 PE or something like that. So ROE, it says some 17-18%. So
Okay.
market cap
Hmm.
is around 97 crores.
Need to look at it.
So, yeah. Maybe you
Okay.
can have it also. We will also study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shivanand Reddy. Yes, Mr. Shivanand. Sagar Biani again. Yes,
So
Sagar.
again, Suzlon Energy. Do you do you know any fundamental changes happening? Because stock is again all time high.
Yeah, so you can dig deep into it because it is on my radar. Suzlon. So I had booked out of gains few some time back, but it is now trading at a. I think the place where it is trading at 51, 52. This is a zone. I'll not say this is there is no valuation comfort in that, but from a momentum perspective, with a price based stop loss, you should look at. There are big things happening in the entire sector. More than that, this whole sector, the renewable entire thing, will remain buoyant. For next 1 year, I don't see any issues. So you can study Suzlon. It's on my
Sure.
radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many positive things have happened. The company has pared down the debt. Many things have happened. Valuation, if you ask, the valuations are not cheap.
Okay.
For that matter, even Inox Wind Energy Limited. So both the stocks are in momentum zone. Inox Wind Energy has completely came into momentum, but Suzlon is yet to come. But soon it should start its journey.
Anything you like from the pharma space, CDMO space, such as like
No,
Jubilant Pharma, Loris Lab?
I don't track many of the very few companies.
Well, what I heard is the CDMO space is the space where IT was there in the year 2020 to 2000. So there is a lot of runway for next 10, 20 years for Indian player who's especially like the innovator side of player like Newland, Loris,
So we
those kind
have
of
we
guys.
have Mr. Ravikant Bhatt in our community who tracks a lot of pharma and chemical companies. Someday during the weekly inner circle meet, we'll have his session on his understanding, because he extensively tracks chemical and pharma companies.
Okay. Sure.
We'll discuss that in the community.
Perfect. Yeah, that will help. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, hi.
Naveen, your question.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you were saying agrichem, right? So, I mean, I was looking at this Make Money Organics. Do you track this? I mean, they were trying to make some micro fertilizers and things like that, right? They have done some capex also recently. So I think
Yeah.
that capex should start giving some results from next quarter onwards, I think.
Hmm. See, I have been tracking this company, but the problem with this is multiple times they have had fire in their plant. Issue.
Oh, okay.
And recently also, if you see, I think there was some trouble. So that risk with Make Money Organics. From a promoter quality point, I rate 8 out of 10. So I'm also tracking Aries micronutrient space, but numbers are yet to come. Maybe I had bought it, I sold it recently also. But once again, I'll take a look at it when the numbers will improve. But in micronutrients, I'm tracking this um, Aries Agro.
Okay. Fine, right. Thank you.
So if there are no more questions, SP, please ask your question, SP.
Hello. Yes, Suyog sir. Good evening. I wanted to know your view on Exicom Telesystem.
See, the whole telecom is doing well. Exicom should also do well. I don't own it. I had bought it. I got stopped out. But Exicom should do well along with the other. So in telecom space, I've been tracking 2 3 companies. One is Exicom, and second is this Frog Cellsat. So Frog Cellsat is a SME company. If one wants to play telecom, so Frog Cellsat these are two companies, Exicom and Frog Cellsat. So both these companies can be studied. It is not on my active radar, but I've been tracking it, both these businesses, because you as an investor, you need to keep on tracking these businesses. Whenever you find sweet spot, you can load up. But these are two companies worth studying. It has both the companies have the potential of becoming a multi-bagger, but I'm yet to reach at that conviction level. I was treating Exicom more of a trade, and I'm out of it, but it should do well. I think Frog Cellsat has a projected revenue growth of 25-30% for next many years. So, but you need to play such SME companies, you need to buy exactly at the trend change. Only then the risk reward is maintained. But at some point of time in future, frog sells at, I might make a position in it. But so both these companies can be tracked. And kept on radar. There are no more questions. Let us end this session. Thank you everyone for joining in. I'm ending this session now. Thank you.